be the clan mother that called all the clan mothers together, because they think that we just felt like one day we get up and say that, no, we had to go through a whole process of self-development first. Then we had to go through a redemption process where we dealt with our shadow work. That wasn't easy. Then we had to go out and try to teach as many people as we can in the presence of the enemy while he don't even see that we breaking the curse that was put on their minds. So while I'm doing this, they had to feed you the hard receipt because we operate in the oral tradition, but they the ones who wrote up the alloidial titles. We didn't write them up. They used that as their occupational charter to occupy the territory. So when we claim it back, they have to surrender it to the rightful heir that's calling for it. You was the big mama that sent me out to go get it. So I had to follow the steps from what I'm reading on the Wind Talker channel from the ancestors to be rightfully guided, because we loaded with misinformation in all academia, because they was the ones or tasked with making us believe we not from the land, so we never come to the rightful mindset to reclaim the land. Well, mom told me to fix it, so I'm just fixing it. I'm not out here, I'm not chasing no money. I'm not chasing no tail. I'm chasing mama's stuff, put it back and get your hands off, because you ain't had no business touching it in the first place. So the more the clan mothers understand that we don't care if you from one tribe or the other, we have to work together whether we want to or not. Mm-hmm. If we want what's rightfully ours by blood and by right and by rightful inheritance to the land. By you and doing its resources. This, yeah. And by you doing this and making that book, this is for the future generations to trace back to this point in time, which one of the elders was involved in taking over from the devil himself, the occupation of our land, and restoring it back to our clan mothers. They'll be able to trace back that Aunt Lucille was living at that time, because she was my favorite Aunt Lucille anyway, right? Now they have a promising reflection of what we've been through and how we overcame, as opposed to what we've been through and, oh me, oh my, I can't overcome this. We can overcome anything. We resilient, resourceful, and we gonna always find a way to win. Soon as Big Mama turn one of these boys loose, he gonna do his part till his part can't be done no more. I'm just doing my part. They don't know what I'm doing, but I know exactly what I'm doing. All them people that call themselves brothers in them secret societies know what I'm doing, and their mouth is on the floor because they can't believe what they seeing. Mama sent her boy to go get her shit back. So I said, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go get it. All the receipts is there. I got all of the receipts for the whole process from A to Z. Well, we went over that in the opening, what it would mean when I was actually who was sitting in front of you. Yeah. Right, in the 2 seats. So we went over that in the opening. But they do know that that's claiming the highest political seat on the land by you sitting there. And by you having the blood and the right, once you sat down, it was over. Big Mama home, she back on her seat. And I did have to. So the sister, Chief Amma said the elder mother name was Rosalind Bonaparte, that was channeling the curse that was put over Philadelphia. Remember, I told you before y'all went that it was the elders put a curse on Philadelphia, and that's why they left. Yeah. Well, somebody got a video of her. She's channeling the curse because the only way to break it is to have it repeated while you perform the action of reclaiming the seat. So she in one part doing one thing from the spirit realm, solving the problem. Philly finna be prosperous. Because all of that negative war energy and raging ancestors that didn't want prosperity to go so much in Philly because of the dirt that was did there is now lifted. Soon as you sat in that seat, I'm gonna speak to that, Empress.
All right.
As you step into your power,
Yes.
that the little flailing around he was doing to keep you from sitting down, that was just to make sure you knew who you was. It had nothing to do with him. He was just a vessel being used to prove who you was. Because when Big Mama tell him, I'm finna sit on my seat, he can act like he want to stop you, but he can't stop you because it's your seat. So you seize the seat back that give you the birthright activation to draw the clan mothers together now. Y'all can come together, and if you decide, well, if y'all don't want me to be the chairman of the board, we can vote. Among us as clan mothers, we could put whoever we want on the seat. That's your choice.
Yeah.
But when y'all tell us men to fix the problem, we can't be bitching and crying because it's hard. It's supposed to be hard, and that's why they sent your man to do it. It's supposed to be hard. Everybody can't do hard work, but hard spiritual work, that's a whole nother level it can't do. Especially under what the brainwashing we was under with religion. The spiritual work right now, that's a woo. But now that it's been done and all of the dots been connected, you sat on the seat. The Pope couldn't sit there, but you could. Symbolically, that's the symbolic Big Mama seat that the Pope sit under. That big ass seat in the Vatican. But the real seat is over here. You don't want the replica. There's nothing like the real thing, baby.
Okay.
Ain't nothing like the real thing. You want the real seat of power. That if you have a particular blood right to call the clan mothers together, when you sit there, now they just got to sit there with their lip poked out because they couldn't stop you. They didn't have the spiritual hierarchy to stop you. All they could do is bark like little lapdogs because that's all they serving. They sure wanted him to F around and find out because they was going to show him.
They were going to show
But
him. I
But
swear they
Big Mama say, lead with love, but master the throat punch.
Yeah.
So now, as these clan mothers begin to link, y'all are establishing, because in the matriarchy, the rule is that whoever can fill the position is responsible to hold the function, without respect of who they is. If they got the skill to hold the position, their job is to hold that position. And to see that somebody can hold it, they better come along, or till they train a replacement. You can know who sit where because you already know they works, because every one of the ones you calling been doing the work.
Yeah.
So whatever work they've been doing, that's the function that they fulfill in the matriarchy.
Okay.
They
Well,
obviously
they need to come on then.
Well, just take your time. Ain't no rush. We already won.
Okay. So you saying I can still be in my rest and I can stroll a little bit. Is that what you're saying, son?
Take your time, yeah, because you got to take care of you first. Because if you don't take care of you, you won't be able to help us.
Okay.
We need your aid and assistance because it was by your blood that unlocked the chamber of the Grail wealth. All of the Grail kings is actually the Grail queens. It's the wealth of the earth that the mothers own, and you had to have the right heirs come together in order to unlock all of it. And that's what you're doing. You calling the other heirs from around the world. Come on, let's just celebrate. And as you meet more, the more you meet, y'all power as clan mothers increase. Y'all have the same agenda. It's only one agenda, the great law. enforcing the great law. That's the great law of peace, right? And by y'all exercising y'all birthright, because y'all have the blood right, because y'all the one who shared the menses. And the menses is the small data bytes of information, the memes that tell us the information. It's in the blood. The code that unlocked the wealth, once I declared that their contracts was null and void, they have to give you because they already know who you is. They've been watching you since birth, just like they've been watching the rest of us. So we all came up learning different skill sets to make us functional in keeping the matriarchal stable as it assembles. Chief Warhorse is a war chief, but she's practicing the war peace, right? Sister Bayana Bayello from the goddess Glow Up, she's a healer that helps the sisters heal from the traumas of the generational curses we endured, right? Mm-hmm. Sister Louise Taish, she do the community work, and she's an excellent teacher of the culture of the Voodoo that helps get rid of a lot of misconceptions about the power of the goddess energy. She already doing the work. So she will continue what she doing as much as she want to and send her apprentices out when she get tired. All of these elders that have been doing the work for years, they got a right to retire once a functional system is established. The system becomes functional once the clan mothers cross the land, just cordially meet, y'all solidifying y'all power and y'all jurisdictional authority to enforce the great law. In the continuity of government facilities, they putting together packages that will make y'all tasks simpler and easier. Everybody's responsible to tell y'all what part of the program they was working on. They have to bring that to y'all, but first y'all got to get organized as clan mothers that we are here, present and accounted for, ready to receive our inheritance so that we can properly administer the resources to our people. So anybody that think they're going to be handling any other tribal mothers, they're going to have these tribal sons to deal with it, and we're not going to take it lightly. I have to say this in advance. Just because mama lead with love don't mean her son's going to lead the same way if you violate her principles. That's for any tribe on the land that's from the matriarchal order that got these sons around them. Y'all not finna be doing nothing to the tribal mothers. It's just not finna happen because you're going to be met with 10 times the foolishness that you came with. This is a new day and a new era. It will not be tolerated. A lot of these religious groups and whatnot, they got their traditions within their groups, but we ain't dealing with patriarchs now. This is the day that the mothers reclaim the land back as a collective. Y'all got the right to do that, and there's nobody in the known universe that can usurp that. You can only surrender it. And ain't none of them surrendered to this day. Or else we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
We have followed the process. We have overcome all of the obstacles and took all of the required steps in the public domain according to the oral tradition of the people to carry out their tribal rights across the land for the matriarchs, the tribal mothers who have final say in all matters of law to govern the people. And the tribal mothers now are coming together at the call of Empress Rarebird in order to establish their connection as tribal mothers that have been doing the work already in keeping their clans together, keeping their families together. They now will be able to access their family's inheritance, which is their rights to the land and the rights to the wealth that was stolen from the land and to be returned to you in full. You can't get interest because they gonna have nothing after they give you what's yours. Reparations is a distraction for the tribal mothers to disassociate her for pennies on what they owe you. Don't fall for the deception. They got fiat money, which means it's not backed by anything. Big Mama's bank is backed by the mineral wealth of the land. All of the natural resources harvested from the land. They political system today call it gross domestic product, gross national product, and gross national mineral wealth. That's Big Mama Bank. They bank is fractional reserve banking, 10-to-1 debt system. That means for every dollar that you put in a bank, that they taking $10 in credit in your name to use that $1. But they not telling you that they accumulating compound interest on the $10 they took out on your $1. And it's driving inflation to make prices ridiculous where the consumer, the everyday working man, has no recourse and no remedy to fight inflation because the companies cannot pay the worker a significant wage with the inflation going up and the purchasing power diminishing at the register. Mm-hmm. So under Big Mama system, if you take a man's hour labor, there's a fixed way to go that must be returned to him to compensate him for the labor of the day. The labor union's responsibility is to make sure that the worker is getting a fair piece of gold for his hourly output of labor. That's the responsibility of labor unions. If they cannot form the function, they will be dismantled and reassembled according to the orders of the matriarch if they are not standing up for the people that they claim to be representing. So now we have to get these big mamas together in order to get resources to the people who rightfully worked for something and their ancestors worked for something, and nobody told them that somebody was holding on to it. They couldn't spend it, but they was borrowing against it, betting that you abandon your rightful birthright. Well, none of the clan mothers I talked to was willing to surrender their rightful birthright if there was an opportunity to redeem the land. Not one of them was in disagreement that I talked to, and I've talked to plenty. And they all said, as soon as we have our system back in place and the clan mothers is called back together, we'll know what time it is on the land. This is that call for the clan mothers to assemble like Autobots and form one big body of mothers across the land that can manage the resources to the people according to your skill set. All clan mothers should be at this time gathering the members of a family bank's board, because as the resources is returned to the people, the big mamas have to set up the family bank in order to accommodate her resources and to properly protect her clan's resource herself without having to rely on nobody else. So family banking is a must that we learn as soon as possible. So once the matriarchy is in place, the Small Business Administration will be tasked with training people in banking so that they can help with the proper administration of the family bank. That's all. We're not asking for nothing. We just taking what's ours. We ain't taking nobody else's stuff. We just getting what was already belong to us. We just following the system that the collective clans, as they split off from the root clans, agreed that at the close of the age, all clans had to come together and form one web of matriarchs, an Anasazi, the web, the World Wide Web of mothers. Each one is a Tesla coil. And as they assemble, the power grid gets bigger and bigger, and the mitochondria will begin to raise the frequency. And the people's eyes begin to open up to the fallacy that they was living and the prosperity that the future holds. This is where we're going with this. No longer will we surrender our destiny to anybody other than ourselves. And that's fair. And anywhere we go, it's fair. Even in the restricted will universe, it's still fair. Everybody got a right to claim their own destiny. And this is our tribal right to reclaim our own destiny and put our matriarchs back in charge. And none of these suckers better not act like they want to get out of line with any other clan mothers, because there's